So I saw a video about artbreeder.com, and you can use it to blend different works of art together, and then it's got all these parameters that you can alter to not just blend things, um, like take two equal parts and create something that's exactly in the middle, but you can also adjust the parameters so that it creates something really new. Like, for example, if I jack that up, let's see, turn that to 4. Oh, no. Oh, I guess that did something with color. Happy. Whoa, that's scary, huh? 1. Okay, so it took that girl and yeah, so let's try 0.5. So, like, so this is artificial intelligence driven apparently, and it, as you can see, it can make some crazy alterations to, let's return her back to normal, but we want her eyes to be blue. This is probably going to make them really blue. Oh yeah. And I think it even turned her hair kind of blonde, didn't it? Wow, that's crazy. I want her to have some earrings. I guess those earrings there. I don't know. Let's see. 0. Mouth open. Yeah. Oh, that really changed her appearance quite a bit. It might be merging her with another image in order to get that effect. Gender. Oh, that just changed her into a man. Okay, so what about -1? And that changed her into I don't know what. 0. Okay. Alright, so anyway, now you can go here to create, and these are the kinds of, you can blend characters, album covers, anime, paintings, landscapes, general, I guess that's pets, I don't know. But I've mostly been working with portraits because I immediately got the idea to like try to create the perfect woman. So, oh good, I have one remaining. Maybe one of these. Oh good, I got another Lily in there. Much better one. And a good Sean Young. Awesome. Okay. So my idea was to take some of these women that I find extremely attractive. I think that covers most of these women that I've included here, and then see about blending them with other women that I find extremely attractive. So we've got Natalie Dormer, Heather Locklear was quite a muffin. Ava Green is just off the charts, beautiful. I haven't gotten Stephanie Seymour to upload yet, but she was in there. Tanya Roberts, you know, goddess. May she rest in peace. Mia Sara, just, just absolutely stunning. Ridley Scott's really got an eye for the ladies. Natalie Wood, I really should get a better picture of Natalie Wood. Kate Middleton, pretty lady, definitely. Alizé, if you don't know who she is, she's like the Europe and Asia's answer to Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Who was the other blonde that was big at the time? Sybil Shepherd. There's something about that her nose. It's just so cute. Aside from being just having the looks to grace like tons of magazine covers in her career. Joan Severance, striking beauty. Imogen Poots, just first time I noticed her was she had an on-speaking part as the girlfriend of the fictional person who was writing the letters supposedly in V for Vendetta that Natalie Portman's character was found in her cell in V's underground lair. Oh, you know what? I've got to include Rebecca Gayheart too. So one thing I'm trying to do is not just women that I find extremely attractive, but women whose faces have very unique features to them. And sometimes that's what jumps out at me and attracts me, because if it's like just put it this way, the women that your modeling agencies would be going after, of course some of these women have had modeling careers, but the standard women that modeling agencies are going after would not appeal to me. Because it's almost like a gray man effect of beauty. They're looking for this like perfection that has no character. And what's going to make me or attract me to one woman versus an army of women that are all, conventionally beautiful, is some character in her face that makes her stand out. So I'm not sure if I've got. Milana Weintraub, I think is how you pronounce that, Weintraub. Connie Selica, Leah Thompson, Liv Tyler, Allison Hannigan. She's more towards the cute spectrum, but I don't have a lot of redheads in this selection, and I don't think I'd pass up Allison Hannigan. I mean, let's be real. Dana Delaney, beautiful. Kirsten Dunst. I need to get a good picture of Rashida Jones. To me, she's beautiful. Her eyes, and she's just got this cute, unique look to her that's, I think, beautiful. But the problem is, like some of these actresses, I've had real problems getting the website to accept the upload of their graphics. Let's see, Rachel Ward, Naomi Watts. I need to get one uploaded of her. Phoebe Cates, definitely. Fortunately, I got a picture of her pretty quick the second time I tried. Justine Bateman. I found her attractive. She might be more towards the cute spectrum, but I thought she was attractive. Marie-France Pissier, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Not an actress probably so well known in America, but I think very beautiful. And Sean Young. So these are some of the successful uploads. Now, what the website does is it uploads the picture, and then the AI kind of looks at it, and then it converts it to like an AI acceptable image, like it translates the features into something the AI can recognize. So sometimes that distorts the picture. Like there's a little bit of deadness in Mia Sara's eyes here that isn't in the original picture, and you can see where it's like blurring her hair here because it's not sure how to look at it, I guess, or how to see it. But as long as the facial features are good, that's enough to blend it with another image, I think. Sean Young, so that one finally came through. I've been having real problems getting her converted over. This, there's Mia Sara again, but it wasn't a high quality picture and it didn't convert so well. It did something to her eyes again. Leah Thompson, that's her, but again, it's made some little adjustments that it's enough that you're going to be able to probably recognize her, but it's enough off that you can tell that something's a little different. This one of Sean Young, she's a little older in this picture, but it did something to her eyebrows. I mean, yeah, she has pretty impressive eyebrows, but it just made them really bushy. Here's Leah Thompson again. The original picture looks a little different than this. It did something to it, and you can still recognize her, but it's still not. It's not the original image. You know, it's changed it. Sometimes the changes that it makes in the translation are imperceptible. Like it looks like the original image. Here, this was actually a Playboy cover I had to use to get a good facial picture of Marie-France Pissier. And then it didn't know what to do with her hair because the Playboy titles and margin titles were, I guess, covering her hair. But that doesn't matter because like it thinks that this is hair, and you could just blend that with another lady whose hair is fine and it'll fix it. It's not a big deal. This is a picture of Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Now, you know, I'll admit she's not someone you typically think is like conventionally beautiful, but she's, in my opinion, definitely on the super cute scale. And this was a picture when she was younger, I think. But it seems to have rounded her eyes more. But it still looks like her. Here's a case where, like in the picture, it gets the eye sizes a little wrong, and you get one eye that's bigger than the other, which is common in humans. The more you pay attention to it, you'll find that some people, they'll actually have like one eye misaligned. If you were to draw a plane from left to right in their eye and then through the other eye, you would find that the two planes are on different levels. And then there's also astigmatism can cause one eye to like appear more round than another. I think, you know, you get a case where the eyeball is actually a different shape, but I think the AI like screwed up this picture a little bit. And unfortunately there doesn't seem to be a way to delete bad uploads, because it, on this account, I have 80 uploads allowed, and if it doesn't produce an error like these have, error processing, then it accepts it as a valid upload, even though you don't consider it to be a valid upload. So that kind of sucks. There should be a like a way to contest that and say that this is not what I want. And I'll show some like serious examples of that here. Susan Lucci, that's pretty much her, but it seems to have changed to something. Now this one, Susan Lucci right here, that picture looks like it didn't even touch it. I mean, that is an amazing translation of that picture, and it is really good material to work with to convert or blend with another image. Finally got Tanya Roberts with dark hair to translate over. That's pretty good. I can work with that. This is Emily Simone. She's a French singer. I think she's pretty. Not the best picture of her, but the problem is I'm trying to find pictures where it's almost a full frontal, you know, facial picture. I don't want them looking off towards the side because the AI seems to have problems with that. This is Sybil Shepherd, but it's not a great. It's her when she's young. Her nose doesn't have the little. I don't know what you want to call it. It's not a bulb, but it's almost like she has a crease on the top of her nose right here, which I think is really cute. Anyway, but it's something just for theory you can use. Alizé, already talked about her. Problem with her is finding a picture where she's looking forward and her hair isn't in her face, because I think that causes problems for the AI. This is supposed to be Alizé, but it's done something to her eyes, I think. It doesn't look. I mean, you can recognize it as Alizé, but it's done something, and this is another example. This was looking a picture she took where you're looking from up above, and that's what do they call that? Like an Instagram photo, you know, where the girls are constantly trying to show off their cleavage along with their face or something. You know, it's like fellatio view, you know, where I guess the girls are wanting you to picture them on their knees or something. Whatever. Girls. So, but I mean, she's doing it for a promotional shot, and there are other reasons that a woman might want to be photographed from that angle. Finally got a good picture of Imogen Poots, but it's also one of her silliest pictures. So her mouth is wide open. She's actually pulling her hair outwards on the sides. Here's another picture of Marie-France Pissier. This was the first successful upload of Tanya Roberts, but unfortunately it's her blonde in the movie Octopussy. And only really needed one successful upload of Phoebe Cates because Phoebe Cates' face has so much character to it that, I mean, this was a great example of the character in her face. Ava Green, this was one of her hairdos that I was not crazy about, like this upswept kind of, I don't know, high fashion hairdo, but something's not quite right about her eyes here. and this is kind of similar. It did something to her eyes again. It's kind of got the general shape like it does here. This one's just pretty well botched. I mean, Ava Green looks a lot better in the original photo than in this one, so this is definitely one of the ones I would throw in the trash. Wanted to get some Susan Sarandon because her face has got some unique qualities to it, and I've always thought she was attractive. I don't have many. I'm not sure if she's a redhead, but I'm colorblind. Her hair looks red sometimes to me, so wanted to get some redhead celebrities in here. So these are some better pictures that translated really well. This one, it did something to her eyes, but it looks enough like her when she was young that you can work with it. Jamie Presley, these are two good uploads. Excuse me. This one's not so good. It did something to her here. Again, it seems like it's in the eyes. It did something to the eyes, and it just doesn't look right. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Christina Ricci, that was an excellent upload. Though, I think this might be in the original image, but it added like some light to her eyes that almost makes her look like a replicant, but that was a good upload. Good upload of Justine Bateman, another good one. But you could kind of detect how it AIified it, you know? It did something to the picture, and it's hard to put your finger on. This one's another picture of Justine Bateman, but it definitely AIified it. It made her look not quite so good as in the original picture. So I probably won't be using that one much. I should get a better picture of Dakota Fanning. Here it did something to her eyes, left eyes, at least from my perspective, left eye is bigger than the right eye, and it just did something. Kirsten Dunst, that was a good upload. Doesn't seem to have altered the original picture that much. Emily Blunt, been a fan for a long time. First time I noticed her was in Devil Wears Prada, and I just loved the Doonesbury eyeliner that she had in that movie. She talks about how horrible her makeup is in that movie, but it drove me wild, just that dark eyeliner around there. I call it Doonesbury because if you ever look at the Doonesbury comic, everybody's eyes have that look to them almost. This one, it like took her picture and you can see where it AIified it, and it's just, it looks kind of robotic. It's so weird what this AI does. It's like it takes the pictures and it throws them into the uncanny valley. But that was a good translation, though, right there. And Rachel Ward, that was an excellent translation. Unfortunately, it's black and white. Morgan Brittany, excellent translation. Selah Ward, excellent. Rachel Ward. Unfortunately, the resolution's not great, and it's not very good material to work with. This is Selah Ward, but it it did something to her. It like made her look like Princess Ardala in Buck Rogers in the 25th century or something. So I'm not going to be using that one because it just doesn't look enough like Selah Ward to me. That's Selah Ward. Unfortunately, the resolution is not great in that picture. And this is horrible. What it did to Imogen Poots, it made her look like a goblin or something. It's just the poor thing, man. This is not Imogen Poots. You could see where it's like a caricature of Imogen Poots, but if you met her, this is not what you would be meeting. That is not her. And then this one, it took a picture of Imogen Poots, but then it like stripped Imogen's character from the face and just kind of made her more conventionally beautiful and less Imogen. So I can't really use that one either. Heather Locklear finally got a good translation of her, and that's a pretty fantastic translation. Definitely something I can use. Mia Sara, it did something to her eyes. It made her eyes like even more doe-like, and kind of rounded off her smile a little. Anyway, it's you could still use it. You could see it's Mia Sara, but it's yeah. And this is supposed to be Mia Sara, but it just totally did something to her that it just wiped the Mia Sara right out of the picture. I don't know what happened there. Here's another picture of Heather Locklear. Did something to her eyes. Otherwise, it looks like her. Kirsten Dunst. Pretty good translation from the original picture. There's a picture of Rashida Jones, but it like squished her eyes together, kind of made like the top of her head like a pointy or something, like made her whole head look pear-shaped, and it might be the hairdo doing that, but it didn't quite turn out that great, and it's not good material for blending. Dana Delaney, I wish I could get more pictures to translate of her because I think she's beautiful, and anyway, so we got one to translate anyway. Not a great picture of Parker Posey because the way her mouth is in this picture, but this one's excellent. That's a great translation. Liv Tyler, excellent translation. This one's also Liv Tyler, but it did something to her eyes. Kate Bush, British singer. She had flowers in her hair in this one. I was trying to get a good shot of her face. If I could get the one from the whole story, that would be perfect. I think this is Lionheart, maybe. A picture from Lionheart. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just the Lionheart era. And then another picture of Kate Bush, and it just made her. She looked like she might have been smoking some weed when she took this picture, but she just looks really tired in that picture. And but you can use it as material. Gigi Hadid, very unique looking lady. Here she's younger. another picture of her. AI didn't know what to do with whatever was going on up here, so that didn't turn out so great. Here's a good translation of her. It AI-ified it a little bit, but it's enough of her that you can use it. And this one's the light and the contrast is kind of washed out, so you could use it, but her features don't stand out that much. And this is Joan Severance. Unfortunately, I guess the resolution was bad, or the lighting was bad or something, so there's very little contrast here. And it was during a period in time when she was her hair was a lighter color. I always liked it better when her hair was dark, but anyway, I think you can use it as material. Shelley Long, the AI did something with her eyes, made this eye bigger than that one, but her face has enough character in it that you can recognize it as Shelley Long. Donna Reed, I always thought she was pretty, but there aren't a lot of pictures I can use for her. And I had trouble getting Natalie Wood to upload also, finding a picture that would work. But this one did. There's a not a great resolution translation of Sean Young from Blade Runner. Here's a picture of Natalie Dormer, but it did something to her. It's still Natalie Dormer. You can see it, but it made some slight alterations, and like in this picture, it did something with the size of her eyes, and so you can't really use that picture. I was trying to get something that had her classic smirk. There's a little bit of a smirk there. This one definitely shows it, but then I can't use those eyes. It messed her up. And then this, I think that's Sean Young, and it just ruined it. I only needed one picture of Rihanna. This is amazing material for blending. As you'll probably see in the future. This was a failed upload of Mia Sara as Princess Lily. This upload worked of Sean Young as Rachel in Blade Runner, but the direction her face is pointing makes this bad for blending, because it just it doesn't know how to handle that proportion. Here's a picture of Jaclyn Smith that might have been touched up, like with, what do they call it, airbrushing? Not that I believe that Jaclyn Smith really needed all that much in the way of airbrushing, but this was the best picture I could find to use, and it's good material for blending. This was the only successful upload I could make of Erin Gray so far, who played Wilma Deering in Buck Rogers of the 25th Century, but it did something to her eyes. Still, you can recognize it's her. Maren Jensen uploaded, I think it was one of the first attempts, and it uploaded just fine, and it may have altered her appearance a bit, but it's close enough. I mean, like, unless I compare it to the original image, that looks like a perfect upload to me. I really need to get another picture of Jane Seymour when she was young, because the AI screwed this up. You got two different size eyes. It did something with her mouth. Nevertheless, it seems to be good material for blending, which is, and this is Natalie Dormer also, but it just stole the life right out of her eyes. These eyes are dead. They're gone. That's zombie Natalie right there. So the White Walkers got to her. So it's kind of reminiscent of how it did something to Mia Sara's eyes right here. So let's see. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop the stream here. In the future, I'll try to set up a slideshow and I'll show you the results of blending some of these faces. And sometimes the results are just drop dead gorgeous. You're just like, my jaw hits the floor. I'm like, oh my gosh. Other times it's really strange, like some faces just do not make for good blending with other faces. So while they look fine on their own, you wouldn't want to blend them with someone else, apparently. It's hit or miss.